What's going on YouTube? Mediocre here, and this video pertains to something that I just saw on a channel that I follow, and it pertains to DHS, Department of Homeland Security. And this video is very, very crazy. And as you can probably see up here somewhere, you know, the FBI, something leaked out of it, and it said all these flags are, you're basically a domestic T-word. You can see it up there. Anyway, you know, so we've seen all that. And then, like I said, I follow this guy, Mediocre Tutorial and Reviews, and he had this to say. Without further ado,
I looked at this about a week or so ago, and when I saw that they ranked me 2 out of 10 on the male supremacy index for content creators, I immediately thought to myself,
bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
How incompetent of the researchers, how incompetent of the authors to create something like this, to so inaccurately describe what it is that I do up here. Let me just throw this thing away, because who would ever want to believe something like this? But you guys continue to send it to me, which allowed me to do additional research to understand the implications of exactly what it is.
yeah, and this is where it kind of starts getting a little weird, because like I said, you know, if you had any one of those flags that I showed you at the beginning, that's what the FBI did. Now we're getting into DHS, you know, Department of Homeland Security, and why Department of Homeland Security is even getting involved in this is crazy.
See, we live in a world today where standing up for yourself as a man is not only demonized, but apparently there are government organizations that are funding control of what you watch. And they're doing it blatantly right up here on YouTube.
So welcome to YouTube.
So what is good old MTR talking about? There is an NGO, a non-government organization called Diverting Hate, which is funded by, among others, the Department of Homeland Security. You'll see that written right down here. Who, by the way, should be utilizing our tax dollars to protect or to tighten up our borders, you know, keeping us safe, securing our nation from the very real threats that we are facing. These very competent people over at Diverting Hate, with the support of the DHS, have again put me on a list, crowning me #2 male supremacist right up here on YouTube.
Now, this is just a list from this company that the DHS is funding, you know, and I'm sure I'm on some kind of list too from all my videos and all the stuff that's been going on with, you know, with the firearm stuff I do. I'm sure that's already happened. I just don't know about it. It's never been publicly released like that. But for this organization to put people on a list that's funded by the DHS,
But here goes the actual list right here. You'll see me up at #2. Now, I know what you're saying to yourself, which is, what the hell is male supremacy? They actually have written definitions of exactly what it means, and we're going to go directly through all of that. The authors use the tried and true methods of positioning content creators like myself as being a hate group, so much to the extent that it's laughable.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Diverting hate, misogynistic extremism, the manosphere, and mainstream social media. Let's just go down. So you'll see even down here, they have in the footer that this is in fact funded by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. But let's just continue to go down. So you'll see here, this is, I guess, their mission statement. We exist to create a world where all people can be safe from misogyny. Now, what's interesting about this is that they're called Diverting Hate, but they only focus on one side of the coin. They don't focus on misandry. Their focus is purely on men.
and this is what we the people are paying for. The Department of Homeland Security is now getting involved with YouTubers, and this is wild. Because what's next? The gun channels? We already know they're coming after us because they don't like it. You know, it's a whole YouTube thing, regardless. But is there going to be another one of these that pop up that decide to put all the First Amendment auditors and all of us that express our rights and try to give a voice to others? Sounds like it. Leave a comment down below.
So anyway, the first thing that I wanted to touch on was the executive summary of this report. And I'll go over this. The purpose of the report. This report serves as a crucial examination of the multifaceted challenges arising from the manosphere's influence on online platforms. Now, I find it interesting that they call out the manosphere, something that I said that I am not a part of 3+ years ago. But the problem is that if you have a majority male audience and you talk about the dating struggles today, identifying behavior or toxicity issues with the modern women of today, while at the same time promoting self-development to the people that watch you, they just place you in here.
See, now that's some bullshit.
Its purpose is to provide actionable insights, foster ethical practices, and propose effective interventions to address the propagation of misogynistic narratives and extremist viewpoints. Pay attention. By presenting a comprehensive, it is not comprehensive, let me tell you, analysis, the report aims to equip practitioners, men's community, and well-being organizations, policymakers, and VLOPs with the knowledge needed to counteract the destructive effects of normalized violence within the manosphere.
I don't even know what that means.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
I've uploaded content on this channel that talks about men. Do not engage with violence. Stay away from violence. The seriousness of violence or putting yourself or reacting to situations where you're leveraging your emotions instead of responding logically with frame and stoicism to those very same situations. Shit, focusing on the black community, I think most of the issue with the men is because of the single parent epidemic. They have not seen fathers, strong fathers, masculine fathers, demonstrate themselves effectively, and instead have watched the emotionality of their mothers, who then utilize that emotion to prey on those within their same communities.
Now, the only reason I'm making this video is the DHS part. You know, this is wild that a YouTuber that tries to give help to other men about situations on how to do things better for themselves and try to guide themselves through certain things in life is now become DHS's focus. He's number 2 on a list. Remember this. I want you to remember he's number 2. But we're going to continue.
But here's what I wanted to get into next, which is the male supremacy scale, a YouTube case study. Now, once you guys see the ridiculousness of how they're choosing to utilize the information on this scale, you will understand my passion. Together with the Polarization and Extremism Research Innovation Lab, acronym PARO, at American University, which I believe is in DC, we conducted a case study to investigate the viability of executing effective diversion campaigns. Yes, you read that correct. Effective diversion campaigns aimed at a range of male supremacist YouTube influencers who are prominent within the manosphere.
Can't make this shit up. I still can't believe it. God damn.
So essentially, they're taking tax dollars and they're reinvesting that into running ad campaigns on my videos that after you watch one of my videos, you'll see one of their approved vendors. But what is the scale that they're using to determine how naughty that we are? Well, the scale was developed as a tool to understand, define, and quantify the phenomenon of contemporary male supremacy, specifically in the context of online platforms. The male supremacy scale is a 15-point scale to measure male supremacy broken into 3 subscales: anti-feminism, female dishonesty in relationships, and women like alphas, with 5 sub-bullets underneath each point. Now, they actually go through and describe each of these 3 buckets. I'll read the first one. Anti-feminism explores how the participant feels about feminism and feminists in general. So by nature of this study, they're essentially saying, if you do not agree with feminists or those within the feminist movement, you are bad. As if there's not destructive messages that are pushed because of feminist rhetoric and ideology.
We don't have to go there. I mean, you're not wrong, but you didn't have to say it. I mean, good Lord.
But I do not agree and ride for what it's turned into. This idea that you're walking around oppressed by men is absolutely insane in modern times today. The idea that you have any rights within a society that a man does not have in Western society today is absolutely insane. I disagree with how sexual liberation is pushed to the masses, pushed to children, as if there's no consequences or byproducts to the damage that it is causing to not even just young boys, but to young girls in this thinking.
And like I said, this is crazy because it doesn't stop at just this. It can go into other realms as well. There's nothing, obviously the government's like, hey, we're getting pushback from the feminist group and they want us to do something about it. If the feminists started going after the gun people, just like, you know, March of Our Lives, Moms Demand Action, we see them already doing things like that. Now they're just waiting on getting the FBI and people like this, or DHS, to friggin' do things like this to people like me and you and others. So, shit.
But what they did is that they utilized a research technique, which is referred to as a 7-point Likert scale from strongly disagree to agree, where they asked participants to rate the content that they were looking at from what they've already predetermined to be correct, that anti-feminism is wrong. And if you rate them high, then they are a male supremacist.
Horse shit!
But if you guys want to see exactly what those categories and subcategories are, then here they are. And I will go over some of these just for the sake of time. But the first one at the top of anti-feminism, feminism is about hating men. I've never said this statement on my platform ever. What I have said is that it is problematic. But if you ask her, what laws in society do men have that benefit them, that women have that do not benefit them, she can't answer them.
It's facts! It's facts! These are not facts. These facts are not facts.
Modern society prioritizes women over men. Listen, I don't believe I've ever said this statement specifically, but there are certain ways where women are in fact prioritized over men. Feminists are unattractive. My talking points are focused around unattractive behavior. And the attitudes of some of these modern day feminists are abhorrent. Before we move on, women use feminism to gain an unfair advantage over men. This is why you get women and public figures such as Candace Owens that hate feminism, because it's not about equality anymore. At least it's about achieving a victimhood status so you can maintain power. But this is what you're ranking me off of being a male supremacist. Give me a break.
This is unacceptable in so many ways by the government. To do things like this, to get involved with what? These women are just, what are they? Their feelings are all hurt and they can't take that men are standing up for themselves now. You know, it's always, oh, I'm the victim, I'm the victim. Well, women, you wanted equal rights, you're gonna get equal rights. But unfortunately, the government's stepping in now, and I do not agree with this.
Is a black male content creator in his 30s, about to turn 39 in a little while. Your boy still look good, doesn't he? Who engages in reaction videos to viral videos, from clips on sports networks to celebrity news. His discussions mainly revolve around demeaning the subject in the video, especially if it pertains to women. Now, what's interesting about that statement right there is that they chose to utilize a picture from this video right here. The title of it is right here if you want to take a look at that. And within the video, the woman is demeaning men. But see, within their write-ups, they only call out my response to her demeaning statements.
This is exactly, I don't mean to sound like Cat Williams, but this is exactly what I've been waiting for.
I ain't never seen a man that I fucking need, bitch. You're all replaceable. Don't ever get too comfortable and don't ever think otherwise. You're a guest in this household and you can be kicked out just as quickly as you were welcomed in.
I just get so confused when I see these ladies that are using filters, a ton of makeup, drawn on eyebrows, fake eyelashes, and where you can still see the glue at the top of their head for hair that is not theirs. So confidently come on the screen and talk shit about men. How dare you?
How dare you?
What they're banking on is that anyone who's a decision maker is not going to go and research all of this. The real MTR attracts hundreds of thousands. Thank you very much. Put respect on my name. Via conflated titles. Yeah. Exaggerated thumbnails. Okay, those two are accurate. Listen, it's the content game, baby. The algorithm is a motherfucker.
He ain't lying.
Whatever. I will eat these two. All right. I pop off on my titles and my thumbnails. And above all, content that promotes the manosphere, which I've not said that I am a part of, and demeans women. Now, I forgot to mention this in the beginning, but when they determine how they give you this male supremacy score, they've only utilized the top 10 videos on your platform as a method to quantify everything. Now, let's say that the top 10 videos on my platform have 1 million views each, which is not true, by the way. But if it was, it'd be 10 million views. You know how much views that I have on my channel right now of all of my publicly available videos? Almost 300 million. So the data that you use to establish me is less than 3% of the total amount of views that I have on my channel. There is not a statistician on this planet that would say that the way that you guys have gathered data for your bullshit score makes any sense, but I digress.
And now remember, this is data that they are collecting and sending to the Department of Homeland Security. This is friggin' wild.
So anyway, the report begins to go into this part right here, where essentially they're trying to sum up what I contribute to and why I'm ranked number 2 in doing this. And you'll just see here the propaganda. It's so crazy. From hate online to offline violence, the manosphere unabashedly thrives on the endorsement and glorification of violence. I'll just stop right there and I will stop reading because please, somebody, pull out any piece of content that I've ever said that glorifies violence. The danger of the incompetence of the authors and the writers to incorrectly surmise what it is that we talk about over here is crazy. And of course, because the DHS is funding this, they are then connecting this to school shooters and extremists such as Elliot Rodger, who became an incel deity in these online communities. Let me just be abundantly clear. If you guys are new to what it is I do not support violence at all.
This video is wild. I want you to go over to Mediocre Tutorial and Reviews. Links are in the description below. Let them know that the Armed Fisherman sent you. And I'm telling you, it only starts here. I mean, it's already been started, but guess what? How do we stop it? When does it stop? When do we tell these government officials that enough is enough? This is, for me, this is just a waste of taxpayers' money and hire people just to put them into a position to basically play, I don't like him, he's got to go. You know, and it's very valid that some of these creators could possibly lose their channels. Some of them have lost their channels, but not because of the government, because of YouTube guidelines. But if the government steps in and starts telling YouTube they need to enforce these types of guidelines, then where does it stop? So please leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. I know this is a little different. I told you at the beginning, just a little different, but it has everything to do with the government. So that's why I wanted to really show this video. I do want to let you know I have open carry coming very, very soon. So I'll see you then. And I'm out of here. Mediocre. Deuces.